ready?
Yeah.
Shock&Awe podcast number 1 here with Circle K and MC Collaborator. Damien and Kevin, thank you guys for doing this. This is my first attempt at this. It's a brand new project I've been thinking about for a while. And I just thought with our history with drum and bass and torque and friendship for fucking ever, that you guys would be great to first guest. So anyway, let's jump right into it. 20 years of torque.
Yep.
20
Crazy.
years.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. We're all still here. We're all still alive.
Yep.
All still alive, still pumping.
Lean into the mic just a little bit when you talk.
Through many changes, many different venues, so many DJs, headliners.
We're gonna get into that. Let's back up just a little bit.
Let me first thank you for having us as your first guest. Honestly, I feel like
I'm honored.
This is kind of a cool opportunity for both of us. I think it's important. Central Florida has, and Florida in general, has a ton of talented artists, and I think giving them kind of a platform for some recognition, getting to know everybody a little bit.
Let me get you to come up a little bit on the mic, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Make sure we're getting good audio, so we're good.
Getting to know these artists on a little bit more of a personal level, giving them some self-promotion, and just kind of getting to know everybody. I think there's so many people here that are talented DJs, producers, promoters. So
there's
it's
so
cool.
much going on.
I think it's great
in this, just in this area in Florida in general, but really in Central Florida, you know. So I want to use this as a way to showcase all the talent, from filmmakers to sound designers to creative entrepreneurs.
Lots of creatives
and
here, for sure.
You know, everything in between. If you're doing something creative, I want to get you on the podcast.
That's awesome.
So,
man. It's cool to have a new little platform for that.
So, back to 20 years. Yeah. This Friday, what's happening?
Well,
Goldie.
Yeah, we got our 20-year anniversary.
Random movement.
It's crazy. We've obviously we've been running Torque for 20 years now, coming up on it. Last year, our 19-year anniversary, we had Goldie, and he's like, you know what? We should do this again next year because it's going to be the 25th anniversary of Metalheads. It'll be the 20th anniversary of Torque. And I just thought it was he was just saying that, whatever, but sure enough, you know, the opportunity came along. His agent hit me up and said he's going to be touring again, so we can actually...
It's almost been 1 year to the day.
Really make it happen, yeah. So, and that was, last year was an incredible show, and I want to thank everybody that came out. That was one of our best shows ever, obviously, and now we're following it up with the 20-year anniversary and the 25th anniversary of Metalhead, so I just think it's going to be even better. We've got a different kind of venue now. We're actually hosting this at Hanau, and it's got 3 different rooms. It's kind of cool. There's a big main inside room that's got great sound. I believe it's a Function 1 sound system from a club in Miami.
It is. The subs are Function 1.
So that's pretty exciting. And then in the by the bar, we're doing this Liquid Lounge, and that's where Random Movement's going to be headlining, and Stereotype from Miami, and a bunch of other artists from different camps throughout Florida. And then out back, we've got what we're calling the Jungle Outpost. And it's more of this outdoor vibe. We've done a show there.
We'll be heading that one.
Yourself, SST, providing the sound.
It's going to be banging everywhere.
And that was something we wanted to do. We wanted to bring back artists that have played for us over the years, but also kind of represent different areas of Florida. So we've got artists, obviously, from Central Florida, tons of us. We've got artists from Tampa, the A Night of Drum and Bass crew, a lot of those guys. We've got artists from Jacksonville. We've got artists coming up from Miami. So we really tried to represent and have
the whole state.
And a lot of people from all over that have played for us before and kind of to be a part of this big celebration.
I just got to throw this out there. I was the first guest DJ named Stereo Stormtrooper on the first Torque flyer.
Yep.
So it's kind of a big deal for me, too.
20 years, man.
20 years later that you guys.
Still
so thank you for including me in this. Like, you know, it's definitely an honor to play this gig and to be able to do sound for the Jungle Outpost stage. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Jungle Outpost. It's great that Kevin, I believe, is one of the few promoters that will do 3 rooms, not house, breaks, hip hop, or different genres of music. This one is 3 rooms of drum and bass.
All drum and bass all night.
I figured, it's Torque, we're drum and bass, and so for our 20th anniversary, keep it that way. We talked about potentially having some other people, maybe somebody that was going to do 2-step or somebody who's going to do some other kind of bass music.
Flash.
And it just wasn't the place for it for this one.
Chico, next one.
I do want to say there are other people we wanted to include on this. We have homies that have been a part of Torque forever. AK-1200 being a big, longtime friend of the night, but we kind of really wanted to showcase him a little bit differently. So in December, we're looking forward to having him.
I'm hoping to get him on the podcast, too.
Yeah.
Dave, what's up?
Big
and
Papa.
have him with Fabio as well. So it's just, we we really try to spread things out, have some different artists, and also let different people showcase in different ways. And this being the Metalhead's 25th anniversary, really wanted to keep Goldie being the solo headliner in the main room.
We do have some cool old school Ben Barber, if you remember.
Yep, Ben Matrix.
Ben Matrix.
Is he gonna
was
make it
one
now?
of the,
We're working on it.
founding
I saw that. I
forefathers.
was like, awesome.
Yeah. So we brought back some of the old school homies.
OG
Anti,
Torque originator and MC Anti from Chi-Town come in. Also, the MCs will be, representing in each room. MC Freak, Vixen Styley, and me and Anti will be holding down the main. We can all pop around, so it's a big family affair.
It's gonna be good. I'm planning on coming out with a couple lavalier mics for the show that plug right into my phone, and I want to try to do a couple artist interviews there
Sweet, man.
live.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
That's
great.
cool.
Because you can just pop it right on you guys. And
Yeah, definitely. I'd love that. That'd
if
be
I
great.
can get Goldie on there, that'd be awesome.
Hey, man, you never know. Yeah, for sure.
Just like a couple words from each artist. I think it'd be awesome. Then maybe put together some stuff in between.
Yeah.
But
We're looking forward to it. The everybody's coming together for it, and everybody's helping us promote it online, which is much appreciated. This is something that we can't do alone. We just put this out there. We organize it. We have a big, huge passion for drum and bass music, always have, and that's why we continuously push the sound here and
for
keep
the
bringing
money.
in.
It's for the money, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we're in it for the money.
Yeah, we can get to that when we talk about our real jobs that pay the bills. But for drum and bass, it really is a family thing. Torque's been that way from day one. All the friends that came together have been a part of it over the years, and the friends we've made have become long-term friends that we consider family. So, and it's funny, we hear that from the artists that come through and play, is that we don't have massive numbers. We're not getting hundreds and hundreds of people on a Monday night or even on the weekends. But the vibe is so thick. We've
always
got
good.
so much passion. Everybody's really about it. There's nobody there hating. Everybody's there just to have a good time and listen to drum and bass.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah. So it's a good family feeling, and it's not a good vibe there for sure.
Vibesy.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the history of Torque. Because, for me personally, it was one of the places when I first started making music that I could always come out and test my music and always play it. One of you guys would play it. I remember Damien giving AK that record, the Jungala 02 record. It was like, hey, play this. And he played it.
Yeah.
So it was, it's always been a special place for me. And you guys have always hooked me up. And I've gotten to play with some amazing artists, some of the big names that you brought through and meet everybody and network. So it's really just been an awesome thing. So before it was Torque, it was at this little place called EJ's.
Yeah.
Pressurized Tuesdays.
Pressurized
and I think
Tuesdays.
I might have been one of like 5 or 6 people that would come out.
It was a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it was.
It was not much bigger than this room. It was a little bit longer, but it was a small little. We would joke. It felt like you were DJing in a closet, kind of, because they had this DJ booth with a little glass behind you, but you're facing the wall. But it was long and skinny, and then we moved the booth out into the crowd, and it was much better. But it was a tiny little spot.
It was behind a glass, right? It was like in its own room,
Yeah, it
which
was
kind of
originally.
separated you from the people. But
And then we brought it out, and it was much better vibe. We've kind of
but then it was
learned that
called
over the years.
Pressurized Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, yeah.
and then-
Even before that, it was Insight with the ICBM guys and
Jay Storm.
Trip
It was
One
like a hip hop. Second and none. What was the
Bluebird.
Bluebird, yep. G,
guys,
yeah.
Brett, Trip One. There was a lot of dudes, and we were doing drum and bass there, but then we kind of went our separate ways a little bit, and sort of some interest waned here and there. People got busy. We were all in college at the time.
Yeah.
And so we ended up kind of sticking it out and kept it going now.
I'll tell you guys, even if you never did another party, I know you're going to keep going. You're not stopping it. But if you stopped after this 20-year anniversary party, you guys have left behind like a hell of a legacy. And it's for the love of this music, because none of us are making a living
can
at
we
this.
stop
This is not our day jobs. We've done it for this many years because we love this music.
Yep.
And it's a passion. It's just a passion. It's a vibe. It's a tribe
Yep,
that we've
absolutely.
all been part of. And
think
I
you
probably would have
remember
never been
more
friends
20
with you
years
guys
than we
without
remember.
this music,
You remember more the 20 years than we remember what happened 20 years ago.
I remember bits and pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
But we were at quite a few different venues, and
Yep.
EJ's, that's long gone.
Alpha Bar days were the Haven.
The Haven
The
was-
Haven was
that's a big one,
Haven was epic.
Okay,
We've
so-
had so many
so
great
that's
shows at the Haven.
the
The
Haven.
Haven is where things turned around, and it actually became we started bringing in international headliners and the biggest
became-
names in drum and
it
bass, and
became
that's when
Torque.
things started blowing up. It became Torque. We actually
Torque.
Or Joe
switched the
Skull
name.
Willoughby, the owner of Haven, was like, "You are now known as Torque," and we're like, "Okay."
Oh, he named it.
Well, there's debate on that. I remember we were digging through science books at my house with Ben Matrix too, so I think
Yeah.
there's a little bit of debate on where the actual origins of it came
Yeah.
from, but it became, I think he solidified it for us,
Or
and
Joe
so
Skull
that's
Willoughby.
it.
That's
But
pretty cool.
you know, that's funny because the Haven was this shithole, dirty. Rock,
still there.
Kind of rock venue at the time. They had bands. They had this
Still
little
there,
makeshift
yes.
stage. The DJ booth was like the sound guy's booth, and it just was kind of run down. And then we started doing these shows there, and that added to the vibe. You know, we would end up packing it out. At first, it wasn't super crowded, but then people caught on. I think what helped it out a lot was its proximity to Full Sail. And Full Sail is an audio engineering school here, as you know. It actually has tons of kids that come in from all over the place, and people were coming here already knew about drum and bass. Versus here, we're trying to educate and bring people up.
Right.
Drum and bass wasn't really known, or at least not on a bigger scale.
Right.
These kids would come.
Big shows.
And so then they'd see these names and they'd come out, but this venue was so tiny, or not super tiny, but it's so kind of run down a little bit that
Sweat was dripping
the
off
actual
ceilings.
condensation in the place.
I remember the tar from the cigarette smoke
tar,
dripping.
the sweat, the floor. It was tile floor, and once the condensation from the sweat and the AC and whatever else, the heat coming down, it started becoming like people were slipping and sliding all over the place. But that added to the whole, feel of it all. It was really kind of this gritty, raw, underground vibe,
Yeah.
and that was when we started bringing in the sort of the biggest names. We've
Virus Crew.
yeah, Virus Crew. That
whole
was
crew?
nuts. The Creeps tour was
crew.
it was nuts. We had them all.
Bad Company.
All
of them.
four Bad Company. Dylan and Loxy. I mean, we've had some really, really amazing artists over the years. We've had traditionally. I mean, we can go down the list.
And we got to give a shout out to AK1200, Red Coat, Jeffy.
Yeah,
these guys
absolutely.
were the beginning of that Orlando, and Kevin kind of just kept that ball rolling.
Yeah, it's
and
true,
it just
man. They
steamrolled,
They actually were the ones responsible for bringing Andy C for the first time. I believe it was his first ever U.S. appearance, and he was, I believe, like 17 years
Yeah, I
old.
heard he was just young,
and it was
young
at this
kid.
skating rink, and it was just this, I believe it was a skating rink venue. And
The one off of down Colonial.
yeah,
West Colonial.
I believe that was
yeah.
the spot, and it was nuts. The lineup was insane. Like even to this day, I look back at that lineup, and it's mind blowing that they brought all these original artists. And obviously Andy C's gone on to become the biggest drum and bass
In the world.
DJ in the world.
Yeah.
But to think that they did that, and obviously that was way, 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 way ahead of the times. They were the innovators. They were the ones that pioneered it, and
What year
we
was
came
that?
in. 96, I believe that was.
I moved here in '97, and I remember Jeffy was doing what was his Thursday night?
Over at in the
Barbar-
back of
Barbarella's.
Barbarella's. That's right. Yeah. Was it
People
Jungle?
that are watching this, you probably don't even to boom.
To Boom. That's right. That's right.
I think a lot of the younger people watching this might not even know what Barbarella's
No,
is.
of course
If
not.
you know what iBar is,
Yeah,
that's,
the back area
Yeah,
of
it
Wall
was the-
Street.
yeah.
iBar was Barbarella's, right?
Well, he was at the Go Lounge for a little while
Yep,
on Wall
yep,
Street
yep, on
before
Wall
before
Street.
that completely got redone.
But Jeffy actually was instrumental for me personally. I was underage, and Jeffy used to sneak me into venues. So big props to Jeffy for that. And being kind of this role model, Dave, AK, and Jeffy over the years, I've always looked up to them and what they've done here. And then we've kind of taken it from there and kept it rolling with their guidance still over the years. We kind of always look to them and for advice and help and coming and playing as much as they can.
Nice, yeah. So, when did you start DJing, Kevin?
I started DJing. First got into the rave scene in LA. I lived out in Los Angeles. I was
You
probably
doing
like
hardcore, yeah?
13, yeah. And actually, it's funny because I just got back. The EDC Orlando just happened here, and they're coming up on, I believe, their 10-year anniversary next year. But I was out in LA when Electric Daisy Carnival was legit just a rave out there. And Pasquale and Insomniac was a lot smaller, doing raves in warehouses, and actually helped hand out flyers for that dude when I was a little kid, probably 12, 13 years old. And now to see it on the scale in Orlando, in my own town, that he brings in this massive production, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, props to them for that level of production. But that's where I got exposed to electronic music. My brother gave me the Prodigy Music for the Jilted Generation cassette tape.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what that is, but but that was one of the things I had on
We're
repeat
old.
all the time, and exposed me to at the time what we just knew as techno music, before it had all these other labels. And from there, I remember being at raves in LA and seeing the DJ kind of controlling the crowd and this energy and this kind of give and take between the DJ. And I was on the other side just as a fan, totally like losing my mind, going crazy dancing and watching the DJ do his thing. That's something that I wanted to do. So I think once I moved here, I started picking up records and really trying to play. I tried to play hardcore at first, bringing in gabber and hardcore techno, and that just didn't fly at house parties that I was able to attend and play at. People were like, what is this crazy dude from California doing?
Tough audience.
Yeah, tough audience.
You assaulted them.
Yeah, basically just total assault. So, the next best thing for me was hearing AK and Jeffy playing jungle and drum and bass, and it was kind of a similar tempo, but it actually had the bass line that's slower, and people could kind of groove to it, and so that I fell in love with that there. And from then, I just kept pushing it. So I think I've been DJing since probably 97, 98.
It's kind of
Long time.
So we kind of have a connection between promoters because for Electric Daisy Carnival, his old partner, Disco Donnie.
Yep.
I started, first parties I ever went to were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know about that,
It was Moon Patrol Productions. Then it became Freebase Society at the State Palace Theater. And I used to go down, I was living in Mississippi at the time, and I used to go down there, and I remember, Jungle Room started popping up, and I was like, what is a Jungle Room? Oh, and it's like, people were like, oh, it's like faster breakbeat.
Yeah.
Way in the back.
And then once I heard it in the proper way, I was hooked forever.
It's funny, when I was at those raves in LA, there was a jungle room, and at the time I didn't know what it was, but I remember going in there one time, and RAW was playing. Raul, who we've had before, and played with him up in Gainesville a couple years ago. Yeah, RW Raw. And basically, he was playing straight up jungle in this room. And at the time, I was a little hardcore kid, and I went in there, and I just was like overwhelmed. Like, I didn't know what to think, so then I just walked out, And then I also heard AK play, which was really pretty cool. It was the main stage on one of these raves in a warehouse, and I still didn't have the understanding. I was still into hardcore and all that. And then, obviously, when I came here, it all clicked and made sense.
You were still a candy kid?
Yeah, I was still a candy kid. Going to raves, cuddle puddles.
What about you, Damien?
I had gone from, rock band, punk band, death metal band. The last band I was in, Dichotomy, from down south. I integrated trying to do, like, Incubus and Linkin Park with the DJing with the band. My band didn't
I've seen the
get it.
pictures of the long hair, the rock and roll.
Yeah.
You were definitely a rocker.
I was a rocker.
Me too,
and then
by the way.
I just, they didn't really get that, and I took that and just kind of became like a one-man thing and bought a bunch of gadgets, the Boss drum machine, and just a few things to piddle with, and those were the early production days. But then I just, me and Melissa went to New York, and we had discovered Batacuda, and it was a party with Carlos Soulslinger and TC Islam, and I'll never forget it because it was mind-blowing. It was like Brazilian capoeiras versus the B-boys and the B-girls on the floor, and they had a visual company doing visuals, and they put the camera in their mouth, and it was just wild, and everybody had these shakers with the flyer wrapped around the shaker, and it was all adult dancing to drum and bass, and me and Melissa were just blown away. And
I remember when I first met you,
introduction to jungle music.
When I first met you guys, you were slinging records out of your apartment. Melissa was like, "Yeah, come over, buy some records."
Yeah, Jungala, that was our mobile
Jungala,
distribution unit. For,
I remember I
records.
used to get so pissed off because Bitter Monk would always beat me. You guys would hold the best records for him. I was like, oh, Gus took all the records. I'm like,
First come, first serve.
no, you guys used to hold him for him.
Really?
I'm like, man. I'm like, how do I come to get up in the list?
We were probably he was designing the
You
flyers.
ended up
early
on
so
our label.
Yeah, I did.
But we had to give him some love.
Worked out.
He was designing the flyers originally. He's the one that established the tour look and feel and the brand
Absolutely.
initially.
He was
So
designing the
we were
flyers.
probably paying him back for that. Here's your records
flyers.
for designing the stuff
So
for us.
Damien, do you remember the first time you and I played together?
Was it a warehouse?
No.
Oh.
It was a restaurant.
It was a restaurant.
It was TGI Fridays.
Man.
Look, that's no longer there.
Oh,
Good
man.
Lord.
Yeah, I came. It was at you guys were still doing Pressurized Tuesdays, and
Yeah.
some friends of mine had started doing stuff on the patio. Yeah, and they asked me.
Oh,
They were like
yeah.
breakbeat DJs. I was working.
We both had fat pants back then.
Probably.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I've got a picture of it out
Jinkos.
there. If you want to see. I got it framed, buddy.
That's the picture?
Yeah. So I remember talking to Damien, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna play on I think it was a Thursday night at Fridays out on the patio, because I'd done it the week before, and everybody was getting drunk and getting into it. You know, even though most people were like into break beats, and I was playing jungle and drum and bass, and Damien was like, maybe.
Yeah,
He's like,
you've
I don't
been
even
throwing
really know
parties.
you.
You've been throwing parties for 20 plus years too, buddy.
I did do a party at the EJ's way back. But yeah, you showed up, and I was like, awesome. I remember I was getting into it, and I made the classic mistake. I picked the wrong
Oh, yeah.
needle up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Damien goes, you picked the wrong needle up.
Thanks for calling me out, buddy.
I wasn't
I
well
think
versed
that's-
back then.
I was like, I think that's pretty
I was
obvious.
just starting out, man. I was just starting out, you know?
Just
was
narrating
fun,
the
though.
night, right?
But yeah, TC Islam got me started on the MC tip for real.
Yeah.
So I have to give props to him.
I finally,
Rest in
yeah, when I
peace,
moved up
TC.
to when I
Rest in
moved up
peace,
to
man.
New York, became pretty decent friends with him just from seeing him out at Concrete Jungle, and we played Concrete Jungle a few times together, and he was really awesome, dude. That sucks what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. KJ was it's an institution, still is in my eyes,
Yeah,
even
big
though they're
time.
not popping off anymore, I don't think. But they probably, Salmon will probably do something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He always showed me
Concrete
love when I
Jungle was
moved up
where
there.
me and Melissa kind of just got our start on drum and bass, and it saved our lives, man.
And then you came down here, and
Yeah, then we came down here, and I told
Found us.
Melissa go find some drum and bass in Orlando when we moved from South Florida. They met Kevin and Ben Matrix, and then I came up and met them, and I was like, "Hey, can I
get on the
with
mic?"
you?" And they're like, "Come next week," and I'm like, "Damn it!" But
well, we
I
wanted to
came
make
the-
sure they're committed. You know,
I
we're
came
trying to
the
get
next
people.
week.
One thing,
The true promoter
one
in
thing
me is
about,
like, "Oh,
one
get him
thing
to come
about
back."
Damien is you always had fucking tenacity, man.
Yeah, man.
Every time there was a party going on and there was a mic, you're
Well, I
like, I'm
carried,
gonna plug my mic in, I'm gonna
carried
plug my mic in.
with
Yeah.
me. You know,
Yeah,
a
man.
DJ, I'd be like, "Hey, cool if I MC with you." And
Yeah.
you know, number one rule, have you on mic. Oh, I don't have a mic.
I have a mic. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn it. But yeah, then the next week, Kevin and Ben Matrix let me on the mic, and the rest is.
Yeah, it stuck with it, man. The energy, man.
I
Damien,
got you on one of my early mix CDs way back. Which one was it? Fuck, it's been so long. I can't even
20
remember the
years.
name of it. But you came over when I lived in Oviedo. You came over. It was back when Glitch and I first started working on stuff together.
Glitch.
Yeah.
Shout out
to
Glitch.
Glitch.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, some characters I was just thinking about. Remember Screaming Jay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah.
one time the
Still
cops
friends on
walking up.
Facebook for sure, man.
Oh, really?
screaming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
I
still
need to-
screaming somewhere.
Yep.
Probably. I remember one time at Torque, the cops walked in and he was like standing up in a stool and he starts going, "I'm guilty! I'm guilty!"
Oh my
And
god.
the
yeah.
cops are just like, I don't know what you're guilty of except being fucking crazy.
Yeah, crazy man.
Yeah, we had a riot over there one time.
Yeah, that was the end of the Haven days for us. We actually
No comment.
What?
yeah.
Where'd you move to after the Haven?
the Blue Room, I believe,
Blue
was the
Room.
next one after that. Wasn't that the next stop?
Oh yeah, that's when you guys hated me for a little while.
Oh yeah. There was a
You
little
and
bit of
like
we
we
were
were Alpha
roommates,
Bar.
Kevin. We were roommates, and
I want to say EJ's, Haven, Alpha Bar.
I
We
thought it was
did the
Blue Room,
Blame
then
show.
Alpha
I
Bar.
did the Blame show, and then we continued doing Torque there.
think
And then
Blue
we
Room
went
was
to the
after
Blue
Alpha Bar?
Room. After, yeah. And
Maybe
we didn't like it.
Long time.
Like,
No,
broke a
Blue-
sign over there, and they made us dress up. Like,
No, I think
Yeah, it was a little bit nicer venue.
I think you did Blue Room before Alpha
I thought
Bar.
so too.
Okay.
I think so.
Because you did Alpha Bar for a while.
Long
did
time.
Alpha Bar.
For a long time.
Yeah,
Because
years,
I think
man.
I played there many times.
Years,
I played
years.
with Concord Dawn and
Yep.
Yeah. Bridge.
We
Cause of
had
Concern.
Marcus
and-
Intellects,
Rider.
Marcus Intellects and Caliber together was just amazing.
Yeah.
Rest in
DRS,
peace
yeah.
to
Yeah,
Marcus.
a lot of good shows there.
For sure.
That
John
was
B.
an awesome place.
Oh man, it was great.
That whole corner used to be popping off and was really cool, and now it's so sterile. Every
Yeah,
bar
there's like
looks the same.
it turned into a
It's-
country bar.
So
They
then
bought
Blue
out.
Room.
But that whole
after
corner of downtown now
Crooked
is like,
Bayou, Blue. Oh wait.
Other way
yeah.
around.
Oh wait.
Blue Room, Alpha Bar,
Alpha Bar, yeah, and then
Screamers. That was a dark time for us.
Screamers.
Screamers was a dark time. There was
man.
There were some good parties there.
Yeah,
but
there were.
I remember on the regular, you're doing just the front room.
That was when we were smart and actually figured we need to kind of close it down to a smaller size. And when we did just the front, it was much better on the regular basis and opened it up for the bigger shows in the back. It was this big kind of cavernous space. And if you've been to a show that just doesn't have enough people in a bigger space, it kills the vibe. Right. It doesn't fill out the room. So if you can do anything to cut the space down, which we ended up putting this curtain off, roping off basically the back area and keeping it up front with just a little DJ booth and I think they had a one bar there, and it helped the vibe a lot. You know, drum and bass, it's got to be a little bit more tight knit. It's got to be the vibe all together.
That venue is now a cat cafe.
Oh yeah? What's going on there now? What is that all
It's
about?
a cat cafe.
Yeah,
oh really?
Yeah, legitimately going.
Hang out with cats.
So I can bring my cats there?
Yeah, or they have
can't
them
bring
there.
your cat.
They have them
Oh,
there. You
they
get to go
have them there.
Yeah, you get to go and
Cats
have a
for
coffee.
adoption,
Ah,
and you
I see.
can pet them and you know snuggle with cats. But
I got
just-
three cats.
just to
You know what?
say
I have
that
3
a
cats
lot
I
of
snuggle
venues-
with.
Toy Kids outlived a lot of venues.
Yes.
And then there was Crooked Bayou, and
But back at Screamers real quick, we did well, I don't know. For us, it was a first. We did the hospitality tour, Hospital Records tour.
yeah, that was a good one.
And unfortunately, it was not.
quiet,
it was
yeah.
empty, and we had all the big dogs. I mean, we
I
had
think it was
everybody.
that was a pre-WMC thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or they had organized this tour, and it's an unfortunate thing. I look back on those are the moments that I wish people either had known more about Hospital Records, because now Hospital Records is a lot more well known, and also all the artists that we had, and because recently we just had New Logic, New Tone, and Logistics, and it was packed. Right. So I think back to that show when we had the hospitality tour. How it could have, or Hospital Records. I don't know if it's
no
called
one was
Hospitality.
alive then. But.
Yeah, just the kids these days, they didn't know, and it just was empty. And it's as a promoter and a lover of this music, we wish that the shows would all be packed. We wish everybody would share in that kind of joy and in the vibe that we try and create. And when it doesn't click, it's heartbreaking a little bit for us, and also for the artists that come.
You put everything you have into it.
Yeah, we put everything we have.
Yeah.
We put a lot of money into it as well. And these artists are flying from across the world, like halfway around the globe, and they're coming here to get a representation of American drum and bass. And so we don't want to let people down in that regard
weekly,
either.
So
every week for 18 plus years.
Yeah.
And now it's like more of a bi-monthly. But I mean,
Right.
you have to think every week. We were bringing
holding it
in
down.
people, and it was locals too, and I mean,
But
oh man,
That's the tough part about doing a
There were some
weekly.
hard times through drum
Yeah.
and bass. Drum and bass is not an easy genre.
No,
to,
especially here, man.
Yeah,
Not
don't
in the
build a
US.
career
I
on
mean,
it.
you see the festivals over in Europe.
It's
and,
insane.
We're still cutting edge,
what is
though.
the big one, Let It Roll? It's
Yeah.
like
It's nuts.
drum and bass festival that looks like EDC, but better.
Yeah. And New Zealand and
But all
and
drum and
obviously,
bass.
Yeah, it blows up everywhere
It's
else.
nice
so.
to see how the crowds have evolved, and
Are
But we
there
have-
any new up and comers in the Orlando area that I don't know about? Because obviously, life's changed. I'm not out all the time. I can't be out on the
Bass
weeknights all the
Bandits
time.
is a good one.
Yeah, bass bandits are definitely strong. But
That's good. But I mean, so you
I mean,
there is there is a younger crowd.
Florida, down south. I mean,
he's been in it for a
I
minute.
think I was like, for a while, it seemed like there just
Up-and-comers.
weren't any new young kids getting into drum and bass.
Oh yeah, as far as that goes,
happening?
as far
I mean,
as that goes, I think in the crowd we're starting to see people come over from dubstep. We're starting to see people come over
they like the fast
from
dubstep.
the fast dubstep. Yeah.
It's fast dubstep.
Oh, I like this.
Wow.
Rhythm or bass music or whatever the kids are calling it these days. I can't even keep track
Future
anymore.
bass. Bass.
There's artists that are also crossing over. Like Bass Bandits are a good example. Like they'll go to this bass night and they're gonna drop a little bit of everything, but they're playing drum and bass. They're representing drum and bass. They're on, some of these
they're exposing the
house
kids.
and techno labels, and they're playing drum and bass. And I think
So they're
that's
getting some other
they're
people
getting
that might
at least
not.
introductions to it and getting exposure. And the crowds there, I've been to their nights, and the crowds still dance to it. They don't miss a beat. It's not like they just all clear the floor and stand back with their arms crossed, like when is my next rhythm tune coming on or whatever. Right. So I think it's there, and I think the kids,
the support is definitely there.
younger people would just
We're
wish
collaborating
more exposure.
with them,
Yeah,
throwing shows with them.
we're booking a couple of their artists, and I think. That's what it's going to take. It definitely is going to take a lot younger kids getting into it. All of us grew older. We all have jobs. We all have families.
Keeping
and
it
so
relevant,
I think,
keeping it fresh, keeping them coming in,
Yeah.
just promoting to them, and it's part of
you guys have definitely carried the
Exposing
torch.
it.
That's for sure. I mean, We're right back to 20 fucking years, and here we are, all still alive and breathing and playing
and
music, and it's freaking awesome.
We're just old kids.
We are.
Well, I think that's what it is for us. Is it started as
I'm almost grown.
It started for us that nobody was booking drum and bass. Nobody wanted to book us to DJ. So we're like, we're gonna give ourselves a place to play. We're gonna book ourselves. We're gonna give ourselves a place to play this music that we love. If no one's gonna book us, so then to see people coming out and supporting us. At first, it was a tough go to start building that up, but over time, we're bringing in guest DJs. People are supporting it, and to see that happen has been a beautiful thing. It's been pretty amazing over the years to get the kinds of crowds. Obviously we've had some really down times and not great turnouts, but then there's been
some really bangers too.
And some bangers. So it's been awesome to see.
Yeah, we kept it going.
But a lot of people, those down times, they would just hang it up. They'd be like, it's not worth it anymore.
I think there were times we probably considered, and our heart wasn't into it 100% always. And I think that was, it's disheartening when you have those years where it's slow and people aren't supporting and they're not coming out and there's just other stuff going on. But then I think we get motivated. We motivate each other. We all kind of take turns in who's going to start pushing it harder now and who's going to kind of take a backseat and a little bit, which I think is a good partnership. It's a good give and take to be able to do that.
So let me ask you about this. So
a lot of teamwork. Me and Kevin, we've just been together this whole
time. Speaking
as
of that,
duo,
that's kind of leading up to my next question. You guys carried the flag for so many years. Yeah. And now you've brought in other Torque residents. Yeah. So what made that change? What made you guys decide to start bringing in other people? It's just because you didn't feel like DJing every fucking week? Hey, let some other people DJ.
These are guys that have been coming out and supporting.
Well, tell me, who are the residents for the other people that don't know?
Aaron Bond, Bradley Ray, Amen Brothers.
Yep. And I think there was a point where it's like, we wanted to change it up a little bit. We wanted to keep it fresh. You got to change is good. You got to keep
We didn't
things
just
coming.
want it to be CK and Collabo all the time. Yeah. And people see that they're like, these guys again.
Right.
But up front over here.
Yeah, we want to keep at it. We want to play as much as we can. But I think sharing the love with other resident DJs helps in a lot of different ways. Yeah. And I think they each bring different strengths. They're super talented DJs.
Yep.
A couple of them are really, really good producers. They're up-and-coming producers. They're making beats. And
Amen Brothers has got the rock. What is it? Bloodlet?
Bloodlet.
Oh, man. Yeah, he sent me a new track the other day. Wow. I was like, wow.
For Bloodlet. Dope
and that's not
band.
That's not my scene, but I went to one of their shows in town and it was amazing. It was insane energy. It was sick.
You're sporting a Torque shirt too.
Yeah, I love it. But they everybody helps out with the night. They help set up and break down. People don't see everything that goes into these events, and there's a lot of behind the scenes.
They just think you walk in and roll in, and I'm the rock star.
Get the DJ, throw down, hang out with artists, and that's not it at all. Unfortunately, there's a lot of
smelly camouflage.
Yeah, a lot of sweat and lifting speakers, and the stuff that you don't want to know about. It's not glorious and glamorous. It's a lot of hard work, and then sharing that with the crew has been a big help. Art Amen Bros was instrumental in getting us online and doing these live broadcasts and streaming, and that kind of brought us to a new audience. It really did.
Worldwide recognition.
Unfortunately, I think Facebook has cracked down a bit on some of the streaming capabilities.
Is it shutting down your live?
Yeah, we've been shut down quite a bit, and we've had some technical difficulties.
So I haven't really done any of that yet. So basically, if it's just one tune that's Sony or BMI or copyright
and
protected.
I think sometimes they'll mute parts of it. They'll just mute that song out, but then other times they'll just flag the whole thing. We've had live streams just disappear, so I'm assuming that it violated whatever their policy is.
Because I was going to try for the Jungle Outpost stage. I was going to try to live stream that whole thing. I'm going to set it up. If it gets shut down, I don't know.
I think you should go for it. I think we're going to try and do the main.
We don't shut you down first. You'll be all right. You'll be good.
I mean, I think if every area could live stream.
If Goldie doesn't come and rewind your track, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
The live streaming's brought us to a new audience, and it's been a really good exposure, and it's really been cool that some of the big artists have been okay with it. Just like, go for it, whatever.
So let me ask you this. What other platform is there that you could possibly live stream on that's not going to shut you down?
I think it's called Twitch. I'm not super familiar with it. I think it's a video game initiated as a video game streaming platform, but I think you could do it through there.
I totally understand copyright, and artists need to get paid for their music.
Yeah, of course.
but it's a DJ mix. It's drum and bass. I really don't understand that shutting it down. I don't think you're not taking away. First of all, if you're playing that tune, you bought that tune, or that artist gave that tune to you personally.
Yep.
So
and
you're
we're not making money.
Away.
We're not making money off our streams. We don't have sell advertising. We're not putting logos up that aren't our logos for the art or the artist logos. We're not. There's no gain in it other than exposure and promoting the artists that are playing in our night.
Have you tried it on Instagram? Do they shut it down too?
We haven't done it. I'm not familiar with Instagram
I know, because
broadcasting.
Me either. I know last year I did sound for this breakbeat party on Church Street. That was and they live streamed on Instagram.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's another one.
Maybe
if they'll let you go
through stories or something. Maybe, I don't know. But that was kind of, we were at the beginning of that, and it was a cool exposure thing. I mean, people were tuning in from all over the world. People were chiming in. People are commenting. And it was just a pretty exciting.
Instead of getting haters from this area, we got
everywhere.
All regions.
Hate and love. But you know what else? I'll be honest with you. What was beautiful for me in doing these kind of live broadcasts and just Facebook exposure in general is there's people all over the world that have come to our night, that have been friends of ours, have been fans of the night over the years, to see them chiming in from wherever they've moved off to.
If they can't come in, they can still join in and see what's going on.
That's a pretty amazing feeling to see people
on Facebook.
in different countries.
Come on YouTube.
Amen, brothers.
let us do our live stream.
So
Thank you, Art.
Yeah, so it just was, it's been a beautiful thing to see that we've, our night, not particularly us personally, but we're part of that obviously, but our night has touched these people and they've been involved and they've enjoyed it to the point where they're still tuning in when they can from all over the world
to showcase,
so
just get it
really
out there and people can see us in a different region. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think for us, we now that we were weekly every Monday for 18 years, and then we've gone down to twice a month, about that, right around twice a month. We have to be a little more selective. We're bringing in bigger artists, on these shows that are a little bit fewer and far between. And I think it's kind of reinvigorated the crowd a little bit because I think, we were bringing in headliners every week. It got to the point where people could pick and choose. People could be like, you know what? I'm not going to catch this amazing artist this week because there's going to be another amazing one next week. Right. So it's like, I feel like, nowadays it seems like people are appreciating the headliners and they're coming out and supporting on that.
Because it's not every week, but I mean, you're still consistent.
It's super consistent.
Super consistent.
We haven't ruled out a weekly back in the mix. I think it just has taken us to regroup. We've actually, venues kind of forced our hand recently for going down to the monthly, and it wasn't by choice initially.
You think?
Venues.
How many venues have we been through?
We've been through a bunch of venues, and there's times where they have events, like they have, we're at Vice now occasionally, and they have a Monday night, it was Vintage for a minute. They had a Monday night that was blowing up once a month Monday, and it's hip hop and reggaeton and a bunch of other styles of music that are a lot more popular. And they're doing it it was first Mondays, and they're packing it out, and we can't compete with that. Yeah. So I mean, I can understand from a club owner's perspective saying you can't have every Monday, but you could have every other one or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so we've been doing the Monday thing and some on the weekends. So yeah, it's been nice.
So how do you for the 20-year anniversary? How do you pronounce the name of the venue again?
Hanau.
I
believe that's how you pronounce it.
I think I saw them post that it was like Hey Now.
Hey now.
Hanau Contemporary Center in
for the people that watch this podcast that don't know, this is a really awesome venue. Yeah. They sell good craft beer. Yeah. Are they full liquor?
No, just
beer and wine.
Just beer and wine, but they do some mixed drinks with wine-based liquors.
Food trucks.
Yeah,
the outside
for
stage.
our show that we're gonna have. Supposedly we're having only one food vendor, which is our friend Delano. He's going to be selling his famous empanadas.
Can the outside stage go to the end? I didn't know how that works since it's...
As far as I know, the owner's super cool. He's been really helpful with all of our shows we've done there, so I think it can run the whole time. I'm not sure. We're going to find out how late it can run, but we've got the time slots down. Unfortunately, they're not super long time slots because we did want to try and get everybody in. Right. But we're looking about 45-minute sets for everybody, and we're trying to get everybody in, and if the outside got shut down, we're going to try and consider that in that. So the last slot may be longer.
I really think it's going to be a good turnout for this party. I mean, people from all over the state are coming.
Ticket sales are already really, really good. We've sold out of. We did this little special $20 tickets for in honor, 20 of them in honor of our 20-year anniversary, and they sold out like in minutes basically. And then our tier 1, which we do this tiered system. It's kind of weird, but it's trying to encourage people to buy earlier so that they can take advantage of saving a couple bucks, and we
Right.
can know that the show is going to be good and how many people are going to be coming and be prepared for that. But each time it goes up for $5 until it ends up reaching the door price. So we're already sold out of tier 1. We're into tier 2 now, which is $35. So, and if you think about it, $35 for artists for about, what is it? 30 artists. I think
Want some more brews?
it's
Damien wants to drink more.
imagine that.
This is the first time I've had any alcohol in 3 weeks, but you know,
Imagine
you guys.
Damien wanted a beer. So,
Yes, actually, yes, I would love some more
I'm in
beer.
the
Damien.
alcohol business.
Are you
What
gonna?
can I
Are you gonna?
say?
You got it in
I'll
here.
pour everybody some
Refill
beers.
us.
I'll be right back.
Refill us. Wait a minute. Now you're gonna knock the cameras over by walking out of the room. You gonna be able to do this,
I
buddy?
got this.
You look, you're gonna knock my camera over. I've got it set perfectly.
you good?
Refill?
Sure.
You should have just brought it in, buddy, but that's okay. So, this is a medical marijuana state.
This is taking a brief intermission. So what?
No,
I was
we
sa-
can-
what,
we
what-
can keep talking.
What,
It's
what I
fine.
was saying is, it's now gone up. We've sold out at tier 1, and now it's $35. But $35, we have 30 DJs. We have 4 different MCs. We're flying an MC in from out of town. We're flying a DJ in from out of town. We've got Goldie, the head of Metalhead, celebrating the 25th year of Metalheads, and it's our 20th anniversary. So really, you know,
It just all came together perfectly.
it came together perfectly, and I think we set the price that it's fair. You know, I think it's a little
Oh, more than fair.
I think it's expensive sometimes if you start thinking about club nights, but this is a really special occasion, and you know, people are willing to pay these prices.
What's the price for a ticket at the door?
We're trying to figure that out right now, but it's most likely going to be $40, and right now it's $35 pre-sale, so you could save $5 if you get a ticket now, and we're almost sold out.
Age limit?
I believe it's 18 and up. I can confirm that, but 21 and up for sure to drink.
Okay.
Don't have any beer.
Oh, I thought you had the beer.
Oh, no, I don't have
It's
Oh,
out.
come back in, buddy.
Oh,
You
man.
spit- Damien.
Oh, where's my beer? There's still beer in there.
There is none. There's none.
No, my beer.
He had some beer left. You
Oh,
took
no,
it.
I drank it.
Oh my
I
god,
thought
dude,
there
really?
was that-
Oh,
there was
go,
more
wow.
beer.
Go sit down, buddy. Get
Really?
back in your seat. You've had too much.
Let me get in.
You're supposed to bring a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I would have brought beer if I'd known you guys didn't have any.
So, all right. So let's talk. Speaking of wine,
Yes.
so obviously you guys have been rocking drum and bass and doing the torque thing for 20 years. Doing drum and bass for even more than that.
Yep.
But outside of music, both of you have some pretty interesting stuff going on in your lives. You know, Damien's half owner of Swirlery Wine Bar, and Kevin's mastermind of advertising at Push.
Push, yeah.
Still at Push. Okay. So Damien, tell me about the wine business. You and Melissa started.
Yeah,
Started Swirlery.
Melissa's been in the service industry for quite a while, and she started kind of dabbling into wine, studying wine. We had gone to Napa, Russian River Valley, Sonoma.
Fancy.
It was fancy, but they were just
You guys are-
swirling, and I'm just like, can we drink this? Yeah, she was studying it. I didn't really get it at first.
Did you have
but
to spit it
it
out?
took- yeah,
When you
yeah,
take it,
yeah.
real
I'm not
tasty?
spitting this
I'm
wine.
drinking
I mean,
it.
come on. But yeah, never spit a wine that starts with the letter B. I'll tell you that much, because those are all the epic ones. But yeah, Swirlery Wine Bar. She started studying, and it's been 10+ years now. She's an advanced sommelier today.
Awesome.
So kind of catapulted. I threw her into the fire, and when we came back from those regions, California, wine country, and started looking for a space, and 4 years later. Swirlery Wine Bar, tasting room, retail.
I remember walking in when it was just empty and seeing you guys hanging out, and you're just explaining
Yeah, I had,
everything.
it's a family affair. I had a lot of my friends come and help
It's
us.
a beautiful,
Yeah.
it's
build
a
out the
beautiful
spot.
wine bar. Like I'm definitely not a wine aficionado, but it's an
wasn't
awesome
at first
place.
either, and I mean now I just can't put the juice down.
Are you
so.
studying to become a how
I
do you say
have,
it? Sommelier.
Sommelier, yes.
Sommelier.
Yeah.
I never say
a lot
it
of people
right.
say
I
it
say
different.
som.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
Are you
yeah.
working on becoming a som yourself?
I have
or-
level 1 through the Court of Master Sommeliers scholarship
awesome.
by Kendall Jackson, and I also have my level 1 WSET Wine Spirit Education Trust, and like I said, Melissa's level 3, studying to be a master sommelier, and yeah, being inside, like being John Malkovich. this is being inside of Melissa McAvoy. When you come into Swirlery, it's like you'll see, everything that is in there. We try before you buy.
You guys
We're getting high on our own supply.
You guys might be wine hoarders.
It's a family.
Yeah,
it's a family affair over there.
packed up.
Last time
Michigan and Fern Creek. So I call it Mitch Creek. It's like Dawson's Creek, but not really. But yeah, it's been amazing, and Melissa's just kicking ass. All the wines there, come in, grab a bottle to go, drink it there. If you don't finish it, take it, and it's been great.
And it's really been awesome to see you guys doing that over the years.
Kevin built a DJ booth too.
Yeah,
by the way.
They asked me to build this retail
out
counter.
of wine cases.
I built a retail counter that ended up being a DJ booth, so you could tell that
Perfect.
hey,
That's pretty awesome, Kevin. You've become quite the carpenter over the years.
handyman over.
Oh, speaking of which,
The
when
new
are we
studio.
skating the ramp
The
again?
new studio.
Soon we're gonna have
You've
a
been
skate
saying that
session.
for the last year,
Very
2
soon. I think
years.
it's gonna be. It's getting
bring
good
the
weather
ramp
right
back.
now. It's
Yeah.
not so hot. So,
Yeah. I haven't
there's
skated in a while.
We
and,
resurfaced it, but now since then it's been already. There's 2 boards that I gotta kind of fix. So
Okay.
once I fix those, I'll have a skate session again.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I need
The
to
half
I need to
pipe's
get some
coming
skating
back.
in.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm just super proud of you guys for doing that. It's a really cool bar. It's one of the most stunning bars. There's the really cool exposed wood edges on the bar top. And
It's beautiful
It's
inside.
just
The
really,
McCloskey.
really, yeah.
Say
Hooked up
that
the
name
red
again. Who
cedar.
did your logo behind the
The
bar?
logo.
and that piece of
Tim
wood that is the
McCloskey.
bar? Okay.
He's a Disney employee, but he's also
Artist,
our
talented
wood
artist,
guy,
yeah.
and he's just amazing. He helped build out the bar. It's very Pinterest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
and,
pretty awesome.
It's beautiful. Red cedar struck down by lightning.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Swirlery.
A lot of
wine
stories behind the wood. And I know that sounds funny, behind the wood.
bar. I bet you do, buddy. We'll save those for the next podcast.
But
Behind
it's
the wood
it's a
with
nice.
Collaborator.
Sorry.
It's one of those places too where you go in, you feel super welcomed. You don't feel out of place, and everybody there.
We
are
play a
friends
little bit
and-
of drum and bass there, too.
Yeah, occasionally. I've DJ'd there a
We
couple
did a
times.
dubstep party there. I brought my
Bossa
speakers
Nova
out.
and yacht rock, baby.
Knocked down some
We
shit.
knocked
off
down
the wall.
some wine, but it didn't break. We broke a glass, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, that was AK, I think.
No, the one we did the dub life party.
Oh
there.
boy,
Oh, the double, yeah.
You were like, turn it down.
Yeah, the glasses were
everything.
vibrating.
it's gonna be expensive.
And so, Kevin, you're outside of music. You're an advertising guy.
Torque is such a passion of ours. It's just, there's financially it doesn't support myself and my family. So I've been, at the same time as we were starting Torque off, I was in school for advertising. I didn't really go traditional route advertising 100%, but I ended up being a copywriter, which is a creative writer, coming up with campaigns and
Kevin designed all of Torque's flyers,
Yes,
by
I
the
do
way,
now.
in case
Yep.
anybody didn't know. Every single flyer, Kevin.
and our merch now. So, but basically, at the same time as I was pursuing my passion of Torque, I kept this line of education going on for myself, and ended up working I did a few unpaid internships, and then broke into the advertising industry once I started getting enough pieces in my portfolio. I got brought on to Push, which is my current agency, as a freelance copywriter, and then in 12 years I've worked my way up. I'm now the creative director there, which is really pretty amazing. I'm super proud of that.
That's awesome.
And that is
Amazing to
fortunately
see
It's well deserved.
I
More
mean,
fortunately-
the level you've come is amazing.
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's been a good career.
So
and
basically, you're the top dog.
Pays the bills. Well, I've got the 2 partners of the agency, which are awesome. They're
One-
the top dogs.
plenty
But
of
Now
yeah,
here's
awards.
what,
I'm right down below
here's
them,
what I
have given them
imagine when
some
I think.
creative
Tell me how
direction.
close I am. When I think of advertising,
Yeah.
I think of Mad Men.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities there.
You guys like, you guys like go
lot
to
of
have
whiskey.
meetings in each other's office, and every time you have a little bit of whiskey.
It's
Man,
not-
if I worked like that, I'd be done by noon. I mean, I could be passed out on the floor. I'd be like,
Right.
fuck
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
let's go to the titty bar.
we have.
It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun over there.
We have a lot of fun. It's serious business. A lot of the times it's stressful, and there's some pressure, super high pressure on having to be creative on demand and have deadlines like that. But then the flip side of that, we do celebrate. We land new business. We toast. A tradition at Push has been to toast with Patron. We have shots of Patron when we land new business. We
nice.
have our
a lot of awards, a lot of billboards.
our
he's
fridge,
all over the
our
place.
fridge is stocked with beer all the time, so you can have a good time and celebrate. But that's definitely what pays my bills. That's what fortunately has been able to fund a lot of my own personal passions. It's what's been able to have me be able to front some of the money for deposits for artists for Torque, and I luckily have an amazing wife who's super supportive, and 2 children as well. So they understand. Sometimes there's some. I'm spread a little bit thin, obviously, with all the stuff going on, but they understand, and I'm able to keep that balance in work. That's my day job, and I'm really enjoy it. I love it a lot.
Drum&Bass owes us money.
A lot of money.
Jungle owes me money.
But it's cool to have that, to be able to, it's funny when you turn something like Torque, it doesn't, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. It's what Collaborator has said for 20 years. He said that on the mic. It's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And that's the legit thing for both of us. We have jobs, we have careers, we have things that pay the bills. So now it's really a passion. Now we get to enjoy it. Yeah, we're going to invest money into it, and it's at a personal cost for us, but it's not like everything hinges on this. My kids will not. It's not that my kids won't eat if the show is empty. Obviously I want it to be crowded. We don't want to lose money on the regular. Right. But it's okay to have it be more of a passion thing, it's really been beautiful to have that take off like that.
Cool. So what's next? What's next for the Torque lineup before we wrap this up?
What's next is I believe we're doing we're
Christmas party.
Run through this 20 year and blow it out, and then we have a Christmas edition.
Yep.
And that'll be fun.
That's Saturday, December 21st. We got Fabio lined up and AK-1200s potentially on the bill as well. And then we're going to get a lot of the locals and other artists we weren't able to keep bring into the 20-year anniversary. We're going to bring them on.
Wind out the year proper,
Yeah.
That's great.
Another aspect, and I'm going to give ourselves a plug. Last year we launched our own website. It's torquedmb.com. And it's got all of the information there for our crew. You can learn more about us. And actually, it's got a merch line. We can get clothing. And that's been pretty cool to see, over the past year, see people supporting from afar. Again, it's the people that have come to our night and that know what we're about. And they'll buy shirts and hats and represent them and wear them all over the place, wherever they live now in other cities. And so that's a cool new feature. I need to update the events section. It's a little bit behind the times. It's hard to keep up with everything. And then also on Facebook, if you want to check us out, obviously it's Torque DMB is our group page, or excuse me, our business page, whatever that is, artist page. And then we have a group called Torque that everybody chimes in on.
Join the Torque group, on Facebook. Like us on Facebook.
Because that's sort of where the promotion has gone. It's funny, when we started out, there was none of this. So we were always paper flyers. We were at college. We're flying everywhere, littering flyers everywhere.
We
had
promoting and everything.
Learned it from Sugar B.
Yeah, Sugar B.
Sugar B knew how to throw that flyer out.
FloridaDMB.com message board. So we were
Full Sail would send us invoices.
They don't know the struggle. Yeah, we would go
Full
to.
Sail would send us invoices because they wanted us. They picked up all the flyers.
Clean up their flyers.
Clean up.
Trust me, they can handle.
Yeah, they're making penny on money.
I think they're okay.
Yeah. So.
Gone
that's
are
what
those flyer papers. Sometimes we put out flyer.
We'll still do a flyer here and there, and I think that may come back around as
Nation.
people have there'll be a digital backlash at some point. I think people are getting back a little more analog. Record sales are picking up. I think that shift may happen again, where we'll do a little more printed
the vinyl
promotions.
sales are popping.
But it also is nice in a sense that that's a cost that we can save. We can now put that into online advertising. We're not using as many resources. We're not killing trees, for flyers. So there's a benefit to that, So that's been a big shift. But that's how you can hear about us now. Follow us online. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. There's a Twitter account somewhere that doesn't get updated, but whatever.
I'm not really a Twitter user.
Yeah, me neither. Too much, but
I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, tweeting.
Tweet them.
Anything else you guys want to throw out there before we wrap up this Shock&Awe number one?
I want to thank everybody, honestly, that's ever stepped foot inside Torque, because to us,
the Torquesters.
Yeah, the Torquesters.
So much for supporting all these years.
We wouldn't be
20
here.
years is
20 years. We definitely wouldn't be here without you all supporting. Without our friends that come and DJ for us.
It would just be us by ourselves.
Yeah, just hanging out playing. But it's one of those things.
We're not being paid to say this, by the way.
It's one of those things where we've said it. There's not a ton of money. We're not getting massive crowds, but everybody that comes has become family. Everybody that comes is into it, and we appreciate that. Everybody that supports us when we DJ, the shows we're throwing. It really helps everybody promoting online, spreading the word with us, because there are certain algorithms. Facebook limits our reach. Even though I'm paying to advertise on there, they limit the reach. So everybody sharing the events, everybody inviting their friends to the events, it all makes it better for all of us. So I just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you for the support and keeping us going, because it's a two-way street. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Thanks for having us here.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, man.
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
I think
I'm excited to see where this takes off. It's a cool platform, like I said in the beginning of this.
A brand new thing for me, And
see you on Black Friday.
You guys are my first guests, and I think it was
Yeah,
It's
come
good.
out.
Think it's
20
gonna
year
come out good.
anniversary Friday night with Goldie and 30 other artists at Hanau. Come
All
check
right.
it out.
That's it.
Cool.
Shock
Peace.
and Awe number 1.
Let's
In
boom.
the
Peace.
books.
Let's get a beer.
Yes.